Have you ever told yourself, I'll do it later, or I'll start tomorrow? We all have. At first, it seems harmless, but here's the truth we rarely notice. Every later is a tiny thief. It steals a few minutes here, a few hours there. And when those postponed moments pile up, they can quietly steal your future. Hours slip away while we scroll. Days vanish while we plan to start. Years pass while we wait for the perfect moment that never arrives. Everyone gets the same 24 hours. The difference lies in how they use them. Those who respect time build success. Those who squander it are left with regret. The top student and the struggling student have the exact same amount of time. One invests it wisely. The other lets it slip away.
This is the story of a young boy who finally learned that lesson. In a quiet little town lived a boy who had everything going for him. Loving parents, supportive teachers, a comfortable home, and a sharp mind. He was kind, capable, and full of potential. But he carried one heavy habit: procrastination. "I'll get to it later," he'd always say. When his mom asked him to tidy his room, he'd brush it off. When assignments came home, he'd tell himself, "I've got plenty of time." When friends invited him to learn something new, he'd shrug, "Maybe tomorrow." Days turned into weeks. Weeks bled into months. While his classmates were building skills, earning good grades, and growing, he stayed stuck, always waiting to begin. His parents worried. His teachers warned him. "Time is precious," they'd say. "Don't waste it." But he didn't listen. Then came another failed test. Frustrated and lost, he sought out a wise elder who lived on the edge of town. The sage looked at him and asked, "Why so troubled?" "Everyone keeps saying I'm wasting my time," the boy replied, "but I'm still young. I have my whole life ahead of me." The sage smiled gently. "You're bright and good-hearted, but you're fighting one silent enemy." "What enemy?" the boy asked. "Let me tell you a story," the sage said. Once, there was a generous king who deeply cared for his people. One day, he spotted a bitter, destitute man arguing in the marketplace. To his shock, it was his childhood friend who had fallen on hard times. The king approached him and said, "Come to the palace at dawn. From sunrise to sunset, you may take as much gold and treasure as you can carry. But when the sun dips below the horizon, the gates will close forever." The man was thrilled, but the next morning he thought, "I have the whole day. I'll eat breakfast first." Then he decided to rest. Then he found another reason to delay. By the time he finally arrived at the palace gates, the sun had already set. They were locked shut. He had lost everything, not because the opportunity wasn't there, but because he waited too long to claim it. The sage met the boy's eyes. "Every single day is that palace. Opportunities don't wait." Something shifted in the boy. He finally understood. From that day forward, he stopped saying later. He acted. He studied when it mattered, practiced what he learned, and took ownership of his days. His grades climbed. He picked up new skills. He grew disciplined and dependable. Years later, when people asked about his success, he'd simply say, "Time is the only real treasure we're given." The truth is straightforward. Success isn't just about talent or luck. It's about how you spend your hours. Don't bank on tomorrow. Sometimes it never shows up. So ask yourself, what have you been putting off? Your window is open right now. The question is, will you step through it today? Start now, because the best time to begin has already passed. The next best time, right now.